The current workforce, it needs to continuously be retrained. So we are telling our youth and the ones still in uni or in TVET to align themselves with emerging occupations, go for automation and do the related subjects, because emerging sectors are new ones. Now when we're really deep in the fourth industrial revolution, they're not like, we're not active players. As usual, Africa is always seeming to be behind. So we're saying African youth, rise up to the task, reskill.
Hi, welcome back to my channel, and it's yet another amazing woman you get to meet. Now, this particular amazing woman, I think I have known for about 4 years. And if I'm not wrong, what she does is strange, but then again, this series is about amazing women. Lynette Mwende Ndile, and before you start talking about my relas, by the way, be careful, tunaza koroga interview yote nkao, is for me, and I need to name you now. You are the TVET champion, advocate, and queen.
Wow.
No, you are to me. So I met you because out of nowhere, you asked me to officiate at the Africa Tech Challenge. And I'm one of those MCs. Anybody who's ever worked with me knows, and then I take over. I Google everything because I like to be the key evangelist in the room for whatever it is I'm doing. And as I watched the contestants, I kept asking, where did we miss the boat on TVET? May I know you as Lynette, my Lynette. Who are you? When people ask you who you are, what do you say you do?
Okay, so thank you, Caroline, for having me. I'm a public policy practitioner. I work in the World Bank in the Education Global Practice. But most importantly, I'm the founder of Ujana Africa, where we are advocating for demand-driven skills among the youth.
Demand-driven skills.
Yes.
So we seem to sort of have missed the boat on TVET.
Yes.
And I want you to start by describing and defining TVET.
Yes.
Because people like a TV who? Yes.
So TVET means technical and vocational education and training.
Yes.
Technical training. I like to just make it simple.
Technical training.
Training equals to skills development.
There you go.
That's how we start with TVET. And why TVET then?
Yes, why TVET?
Because TVET is hands-on and practical.
Yes.
Demand-driven skills development.
There you go.
Again.
Yes.
And we are always constantly talking about the youth, unfortunately bashing them that they don't have relevant skills for the job market.
Yet, we don't train them, not just skill-based learning, but demand-driven.
Exactly.
What does the market need?
That's the point.
Yes.
So that's my argument. Are we training our graduates for the job market? Is it relevant to what the industry requires? Or we are letting our youth go through the education system, but failing them that we've told them, if you go to uni, you're successful. You know? I'm sorry, but in our families, at the household level, a child is even promised, if you pass your KCSE and you go to uni, I will do you a very big shopping. You know, your uncles and aunties. So kids are kind of socialized and nurtured knowing that the ultimate goal is to get this degree, but not to develop a skill or competency.
There you go. And I just, oh my goodness, do you want to take a break to develop a skill or a competency?
Yes.
So I learned a long time ago, I might be in the creative sector, but it's personality and talent driven. And I've said this before, if you look for any conversation I ever had with Equity and MasterCard's Wings to Fly. Why you don't invite me anymore, I do not know. But I've always been clear that I know I am not talented. And I don't have a problem knowing that. But because, you know, Maina Kageni, talented, Churchill, talented, Edward Quach, talented. However, I have a skill.
Good.
And I'm an amazing orator.
Yes.
So I know my skill versus their talent, it's nil-nil. But my skill plus how I work, I beat you 4 a.m. every day.
Exactly.
Every day.
Because you're competent.
There you go.
So you've been able to develop this skill, and it's called lifelong learning.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're taking a proactive approach to develop your skill. So allow me to just demystify again TVET.
TVET.
In the sense that we are in the fourth industrial revolution. We are talking about it online, and we're talking about AI, artificial intelligence, robotics.
Yes.
So right now, developments in these things, robotics, AI, nanotechnology, biotechnology, this has brought a new revolution. It's called a technological revolution.
True.
So these developments are laying a foundation whereby we're going to be in a very comprehensive revolution, all-encompassing, meaning that we'll have smart systems in our homes, factories,
our
in our
lives.
farms, even in Kitui, Shago.
Yes.
We have smart systems which will tackle problems, ranging from supply chain management to the higher ones.
To closing your curtains.
Exactly. Climate change.
Yes.
Every type of thing will be solved using all the smart systems.
Yes.
So this revolution, what does it mean
for us?
For us. That's the question. Yeah. For me, we can either foresee a limitless opportunities out there, or we can look at it from a negative perspective and say, our jobs will be taken away, there'll be a shortage of jobs. It's up to you. But for me, through TVET, we can nurture skills and competencies, align ourselves in these developments. If our youth right now can be able to develop their skills, to be able to align with these emerging occupations.
Exactly. That means our teaching, and especially at vocational level, but even at university level, needs to begin asking itself.
Yes.
What does the workplace of the future look like?
Yes.
What is needed?
Exactly.
And then how do we ensure we've got the workforce for it?
Yes.
And I'll use myself as an example. I remember by the time we finished writing 1 or 2 bad stories on Gambia 1, Gambia 2, I was like, so we're going to be an oil economy? Yeah, and I sat in class. But I sat in class, and Dr. Gaduru Boro, I still absolutely owe you for some of the most difficult learning I've ever done. And I love to learn, but oil and gas and mining is a whole other space. But I understood to be able to be the evangelist that I like to be in this sector, this was the one that I had to sit in class with and learn acronyms that I was like, yeah. But what did I learn while I was in that class? That the skill on the ground for oil and gas is young and is male. The demand is there. And I kept asking Gadurumburu, so have we spoken to NYS? Have we put up a dummy rig there so they can work with it? And then I realized I was talking to myself, so I was like, Sawa, but here's Lynette, she's better looking than me, find her. Because I know you told me you needed to reference the fact that I did certification in oil, gas and mining.
Exactly. And what for me that means is you're constantly reskilling and retooling.
I have to.
So what I'm trying to say is, right now we're talking about this huge youth unemployment rate. But are we asking the youth to reskill and retool? And
for the future.
Yes, for the future of work. And most importantly are the private sector, businesses. Right now, your current workforce, why are you not investing in human capital to reskill or retrain them? So young people cannot access the job market because you're saying they don't have relevant skills. But
industry cannot get people because
exactly
they're not training for it.
So I'm saying it's a collective effort. We need this tripartite kind of agreement where us as individuals take a proactive approach to reskill, to relearn, and retool.
By the way, unlearn, relearn.
Yes.
Literally, it's like uninstalling software.
Thank you.
Yes.
And the private sector needs to invest in our youth, retrain them for the future of work. But even as we prepare for that future of work, the current workforce, it needs to continuously be retrained. So we are telling our youth and the ones still in uni or in TVET to align themselves with emerging occupations, go for automation and do the related subjects, because emerging sectors are new ones, as we've just demystified right now. So we want them to start working towards that. Right? So that when when we're really deep in the fourth industrial revolution, they're not like, we're not active players. As usual, Africa is always seeming to be behind. So we're saying African youth, rise up to the task, reskill, change your mindset about learning these skills, because unfortunately we have to unlearn what you've said. Historically, when the colonialists left Kenya, they kind of positioned us to take over their jobs.
Yes.
Most of their jobs were in an office setup, white collar jobs.
That's true.
So we have to unlearn something that...
And leave space for something new to take its place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we grew up now in households where now our parents and their parents, they also went for white collar jobs based on history.
Yes.
So it was very hard for families to talk about skills development.
Yes.
So we have to unlearn that, and we start at household level.
You're telling me. My dad used to
parents,
ask my mother, Akamanda Wende, this radio thing she's doing.
No.
What is this?
That is the point.
Yes.
So until it's like you get this office job of 8 to 5 wearing a suit,
Yes.
until then, you're still not successful.
You're not working.
Exactly.
In fact, I'm sure there's a time my father probably used to say, she's looking for a job.
Anyone who
and
knows,
I had one.
Anyone who knows
somebody,
give her a job.
Yeah, give her a job.
But you see, you've been nurturing a skill.
Yes.
But we did not we've not really looked at skills as something worth tapping into. So I'm saying from household level, and learn that, talk to your students or your young people in the house about learning skills. Then the second part I want to talk about is our teachers.
Let's talk about our teachers in a moment. I want to take a break because now everybody will say, walimu, naonekana mko wanted kujeni. Let's talk about our teachers, but I want to leave you with something because I don't want you to go and not come back. And this is somewhere you and I literally connected. And it was when Tim Cook spoke about why China. Oh, by the way, Lynette went to school in China, but we'll come to that. And Tim Cook was talking about why Apple develops its phones in China, and he said this is not about cost.
The thing that most people focus on when if they're a foreigner coming to China is they focus on the market itself and the size market, and obviously it's the biggest market in the world in so many different areas. But for us, the number one attraction is the quality of people.
He talks about visiting the factory that puts together the iPods. And he said that what was impressive is that the iPod in and of itself has got several hundred components. And the level of precision embedded into the audio quality, without getting into nerdy details, this is him speaking, says is really hard. And it requires a level of skill that is extremely high to put together the iPod. Right. The reason the world's most famous phone is developed in China is not about labor cost, it's about skill. And if you need to hear it from somebody, hear it from Tim Cook. If Tim Cook is unknown to you, hear it from Lynette.
Yes.
She's the TVET queen, champion, and evangelist, and we're back in part 2. Subscribe and come back.